What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe, neversake.com, and for today's video, it's going to be something different that I've actually never tried before, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Because today we have a special guest, Brad Arbic. Now, if you guys are part of the powerlifting world, then you've probably heard Brad's name before, because the guy has a ton of records. I'm gonna kick it to him and he can explain all that in a little bit, but the reason why he is on my channel today is because Brad is kind of dipping his toe into the strongman world, and so he started messing around a little bit with implements. He sent me some videos, asked if I could critique him, and critique I will. Because if you know Brad, you know that he is a brutally strong individual when it comes to being in a static place. His squat, his deadlift, his bench are all absolutely amazing, and now when he moves on to strongman, the things just kind of change a little bit. So I'm gonna try to impart some of my knowledge into him today. He's gonna show a couple videos of him doing things. I'm gonna show some things that he can work on in hopes that everyone can learn from this experience. Maybe some things that he's messing up, maybe you're messing up. Now remember, I do things my way, guys. I'm not saying it's the best way, I'm saying it is a way, but hopefully I'll be able to help him out as well as you by the end of this video. Plus, I always find it extremely cool when someone at a very elite level decides to humble themselves to learn a new skill and try different things. Plus, guys, the carryover from strongman over to powerlifting is immense. I can't tell you how many people that have come to me as clients, online clients, programs, whatever it is, will come to me and they are stagnant on their powerlifting moves, and I just add some strongman stuff, like for a log press. It's gonna hit your pressing muscles in a completely different way. So the transfer from the strongman movements over to your powerlifting can be absolutely terrific. So hopefully we're gonna get some of that with Brad today. And last thing before I throw over to Brad to introduce himself is don't forget, guys, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 10th, we're releasing the Be Dangerous shirts, as well as the Rise shirts, as well as the black Never Say basic shirts. Really, really cool, guys. I'm actually gonna do an entire video where I explain why these shirts mean so much to me, their meaning, everything behind it. And then one of the reasons why I haven't had a lot of videos up recently this week is because I've been working on the Be Dangerous video that's gonna release Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time that shirts drop. It should be a very cool, inspirational video, hopefully for you guys. Get you guys a little pumped up before you go to the gym. The only other thing I'm gonna mention about the shirts is remember, guys, they are first come, first serve. So once they sell out, we do not make more. So if they all sell out the first day, that's it. That said, they never sold out the first day. Thanks. But they do tend to sell out very quickly. So if you guys are interested, do not sleep on that deal. You can catch them at either theloyalbrand.com or neversakegear.com. Either way, if you guys wanna pick one up, I greatly appreciate it. So right now I'm gonna throw over to Brad so he can introduce himself, and then I'm gonna go into critiquing his tire flip, his yoke walk, and his log cleaner press. Here's Brad.
Hey Brian, thanks for the introduction. My name is Brad Arbic. I am a active duty soldier in the US Army. Right now I'm currently stationed in Korea. However, I'm home on leave, kind of hanging out in the States and spend some time with the family. And Brian and I were talking a little bit about working together. We've worked together previously. If you guys recognize me, you may have seen me on one of Brian's previous videos with the deadlift party, where I had the opportunity to pull 800 pounds in Brian's gym, which I think is still the heaviest deadlift in the gym. So I'm a fairly well-accomplished powerlifter. I've been competing regularly since I was about 17. I've won, a number of state championships. I have a number of state records. I have 3 national records. And so I felt like it might be a good opportunity to show you guys how being fairly well-accomplished at static strength may not necessarily play well into the strongman events. So the idea here is I'm going to perform a few strongman events and just kind of show you how I perform, and then Brian will have the opportunity to kind of comment on what I'm doing, maybe offer some critique and criticism about how to perform the movements better. And the idea is just to show that there could be value in cross training, but also that if you are considering getting into strongman, there's no better time than now. So you may not necessarily be good at the events right up front, but that's no reason not to try. So we'll get into some of the events here, and yeah, it should be fun. And again, Brian, thanks for having me on the channel. I appreciate it very much.
All right, brother. So for the tire flip, you're actually doing a lot of things correct. So that's where we're starting out here. It's going to get more and more complicated as we go, because your log cleaner press, we're going to really, really tear apart. But something as simple as a tire flip, and with somebody as strong as your deadlift, there's not a whole lot that you're going to do wrong here, okay? A couple things you are doing really, really right that I like is that you're not sticking your legs really, really far apart. Down here at the bottom, that's one problem that a lot of people do. Number 2, some people like to stick their hands inside their legs, some people like them outside. It's completely up to you, but the thing that I like about what you're doing is that you keep your legs pretty close together, which is similar to your deadlift stance. If you guys watch Brad deadlift, he can generate an immense amount of power with his feet pretty close together, which is something that I can't do, right? So I try to mimic my deadlift stance on the tire flip, much like he is, so you're doing an awesome job there, brother. Another thing you're doing really well is that you're breathing and bracing you're absolutely getting a breathing brace for this. You will not believe the number of people who do not do that. However, what I will say is that most of the time for a tire flip event, you're not going for a 1 rep max or anything. You're going for as many reps as possible in 60 seconds, or as part of a medley or stuff like that, so speed and efficiency counts. So if you get underneath this tire, then down here you're starting to get your breath. I saw you keep raising your hips up so you can get a good belly of breath and then dropping them in just like a deadlift, which is awesome. However, that's precious seconds that you don't have. So what I'd rather see you do is when you're back here, this is where you get your air. You fill your belly up and then you stuff yourself down in this position. Now, it's obviously gonna be uncomfortable, but you're not gonna be there for very long. This is obviously after you've gotten a couple more tire flips under your belt and you have the technique down a little bit more, but you have that air. Just like in the deadlift, you can get it at the top, you stuff it in so there's no more room, and then you can explode out. Now, something that you're not really doing wrong, but I think a lot of people are doing wrong that I think can benefit from this situation in this video, is too many people stick their feet right up on the tire and they try to deadlift it like this. The problem is that the tire is not like a barbell or anything else that is going straight up and down like a bar would. It is pivoting on a point, right? It has a fulcrum. So if you try to lift something straight up that is going to pivot, you're gonna run out of gas. You run out of horsepower, right? You need to go with the angle of the tire. So instead of picking it up and having your feet so close, just try kicking them back a little bit. For most people, I usually say 12 to 18 inches, 20, I don't know. I don't know. This far. Anyway, when you're this far, that gives you enough room to get your body and everything against it, but then you can still drive at a 45-degree angle. There used to be a machine in commercial gyms called a power squat machine, where you stood on a kind of 45-degree angle platform and you had pads on your shoulders and you could squat the world. That is the exact same motion you're doing here. You're just setting your body up to be as stable as possible. You're still moving at a 45-degree angle. So when you're in here at the bottom, I want you to think taking your Superman S and literally pointing at a spot 45 degrees up. Don't think about picking the tire up. Don't think about bending your arms. They just stay locked in like meat hooks. You get your big belly breath, stick your Superman chest against it. Your feet are a foot and a half away, and then you're gonna drive a 45-degree angle. From here, you drive up, and then if it's light enough, you're going all the way. If not, you stop, stick your leg under, and then you start driving your arms under. I have entire videos about how to do the tire flip, so I'm not gonna get more into detail. But for you personally right now, what I want you to work on is getting that belly breath before you enter into the tire so you can get more flips during that second. But God, you're already killing this, so it's only a matter of time for you to just absolutely demolish it. All right, brother, so on the yoke, you actually did a really great job on that as well, so I don't have a ton to say. You did a lot of things right that a lot of people naturally do wrong, but it's probably from your powerlifting background and just all the time that you spend underneath a heavy bar. The first thing that you did great was engage your upper body on the yoke. A lot of people think they're just gonna throw this thing on their back and kind of take it for a ride, and it's just kind of a pasture, but that could be more further from the truth. If you do that, this thing will start swinging and it becomes almost like a bell. It's sexy, but not strong. So what I would encourage you to do instead is engage your upper back. Now you do that a couple different ways. Some people, depending on your build, some people like my wife or some smaller individuals can actually get underneath the yoke here and push up on the cross member, which is absolutely probably one of the best ways to do it. If you're more my size, then what you might be able to do is stick your hands inside of the yoke and actually push outward on it. Now, pushing outward on the yoke is going to do a couple things. It's going to, number one, stabilize the yoke a little bit, engage your lats, engage your rhomboids, but it's also going to create as much stability in your upper body as possible so that this thing doesn't start rocking on you. Again, you're in a balance point, so it's going to be very important. However, if you're a bigger individual, someone like Brad, what you're going to end up doing sometimes is pulling in on the yoke. Now, you guys are going to see in Brad's video, this absolutely happens. When he stands up with the yoke, you're going to see the legs of the yoke actually come in. Now, a little bit of that's because of the weight, but he is absolutely pulling in and engaging. So when he lines up and gets underneath, stands up, you actually see the yoke arms bend in. And that's just from his upper back being engaged. That's gonna do so much more for the stability throughout the entire run. It's just like your squat. If you're only using half your body, then you're leaving a ton of pounds out there. If you're benching and you don't use leg drive, you're leaving a ton of pounds out there. Every single lifting thing is a full body thing. You need to treat it as such. And the yoke is no different. Now, the second thing that I think you did awesome was your foot positioning. Now, a lot of people, when they go to pick up a yoke, will actually get under it. And because a yoke is typically much heavier than their squat, they will stick their feet way out like this and they'll stand up, which is completely fine. You'll stand up with it. That is great. The problem is you are not really ambulatory here. So when you go to move, you need to work your legs in a while before you actually get to a pace of walking. Now, what Brad does, again, because Brad is so strong with his feet close together, is he naturally is picking up in this position, which I think is much better. Your feet are underneath you, your hips are underneath your shoulders, so as soon as you pick up, you're moving forward. It's better, right? It's just faster in general. Brad, for you in particular in this, since you're already picking up with your feet close together, what I'd rather see you do on lighter weights of the yoke, do not try doing this on a 1 rep maximum yoke walk. But on lighter ones, especially contest weights and things that are a little bit more speed oriented, when you get underneath, your feet are already lining up like this. What I'd rather see you do is just slightly offset one, and we're only talking about half a foot length here. But what that's gonna do is, as you get your air and you brace down, you pick up, you're already in a falling position. So you're already taking a step before the game even begins. Instead of rather getting your brace, standing up, getting set, and then walking, which I would recommend doing with heavier weight. If it's lighter, if you can stay staggered, then when you pick up, big belly breath, you're already in, you're already moving, and you're already gone. The little things that you can cut out of there, the little shortcuts that you can make is going to help, especially in a 50-foot race. So again, on the yoke, you're doing a ton of things right. You're gonna be shocked at how much this thing increases your back squat. Amazing, amazing tool. Just be careful. Really, really hard on the CNS, so it's going to hurt your deadlift if you stick them too close together. But yeah, man, this is another one that you're gonna be excellent at. Now we're going over to the log clean and press, which I am gonna hurt your feelings on. All right, Brad, so now we're gonna move on to your log clean and press. So you were using this one.
No. What
about, what about this one?
No. That one.
Oh. All right, so here's the deal, Brad. I know that your gym only had this log, right? But this is like an amateur women's log, okay? This is an 8-inch log, which means it's only used at smaller shows for women. At bigger shows for women, they actually use a 10-inch log now. So like nationals or platinum pluses, bigger just in general shows. This is still women's log. Men will never use either one of these. And then thirdly, you have at least a 12-inch log, which is the start of the men's log, and then they just get bigger from there. Not much bigger than that right now, but believe it or not, as a man, there are a lot of reasons that this can be easier for you, some reasons why it's gonna be harder, but this, I just gotta make fun of you and your little log. All right, now, arguably the most important part of the log clean press is going to actually be the log clean, because if you are not efficient in that, then you will not have the energy left to do the press. And brother, I love you. We need to do something about the log clean, man. In reality, your log clean is much more like a log curl, which every single person when they start doing log starts out with. That's how I started, that's how everyone started, and every single strongman that looked at my videos said, you're gonna tear your bicep. So here is the obligatory, you're gonna tear your bicep. Look, the whole point of the log clean is to use as little or much of your arms as possible. And right now, when you're swinging your hips and trying to get momentum and everything like that, you are literally just taking your life meter of your video game and just taking it down. And by the time that you are up in that front rack position, you don't stand a chance of pushing a heavy weight. So, first thing we're gonna tackle is this log clean. Now, when it comes to taking the log from the ground up to your front rack position, the biggest thing that you wanna think about is torque in your arms. Of course, you're breathing and bracing, everything like that. But if you are holding the log like this and you're just trying to curl it up, then you're getting this much torque, okay? I'm gonna teach you something called the spider pose, where we're gonna take your elbows from this position and we're gonna throw them all the way vertical so that you get this much torque, all right? Completely different game. You think about if you were gonna slap somebody, you have this choice of going, or you have the choice of going from back here. How are you gonna slap people? So to start out at the very beginning, you need to start tilting this log outward, like you're pouring water out of a pitcher, because that's gonna matter on your finishing end when you actually twist those elbows around. Next thing, you wanna get your big breath and brace here before you drop down. Once you drop down into the bottom spider pose, you have as much time or as little time as you want. If you're athletic, a lot of people like to use that momentum and that stretch reflex to actually help throw the log out. If you like to take your time and get a little more set, some people sit down in the bottom of that position for a while. The biggest thing that you're trying to do is set up to be as most advantageous with your hips as possible. So from here, when I drop down, some people will actually sit this log on top of their belt. Some people stick it on top of their gut. Other people are just like myself, who doesn't have really a lot of gut there, is just trying to use as much rebound as bottom as possible. But as you can see, my elbows here are way up high. Your elbows at the beginning of your clean are down here. You're trying to literally do this. That's literally just a curl, right? It's gonna get you hurt and you can't do a lot of weight. From here, my hands aren't really even on the log, they're touching it, but it's all gonna happen when I reverse it. When I reverse, my hips are gonna throw this log up and my arms are just gonna finish it. From here, big belly breath, my hips are gonna kick, my arms are gonna rotate all the way around. Now, I need to drop the log down so I can speak to you, but basic position here is this. Now, if I'm looking at you, I should not be able to see you. If I can see you, I'm gonna miss this log press. It has to be up, and your elbows need to be driving towards the ceiling, and you need to be squeezing those handles as hard as you can. But once you do have that log up there, remember, you cannot be looking above the log. you need to be looking at the sky. Now, in that position, your posterior chain is going to be getting worked super hard because, believe it or not, that log being out in front of you is extremely tough just to even stay straight up and down. You get more into an arch position. Now, your butt needs to be tight, whole posterior chain needs to be locked in, your lats need to be working, everything needs to be good because that foundation, if it moves at all, you're going to miss this log press. But once your butt is tight, you have a good belly breath, you brace it down, your dip and drive is looking pretty good. The only thing I say about it is that your knees are moving forward. The problem with your knees coming forward when it has to do with the log is that if your knees come forward, the log drops forward. If the log drops forward, that is gonna change the position where you press this thing. If you come forward, you're gonna be pressing out. If you press out, you do not stand a chance of getting this log because the pressing kind of line, your strength groove is gonna be different than a normal overhead press, which is more straight up and down. With a log, since you're already out here, your pressing line is literally backwards. You're pushing to a line in a plane of the back of your head. So if you drop forward at all, you're going out forward, you're trying to get the log back, it's too much to do, okay? So the biggest thing that you need to work on for your dip and drive here is pushing your knees outward, not down. Just like in a squat, if you push your knees forward, then they're gonna collapse in, right? We've all had that problem. You need to push your knees out for the dip and drive so you can keep your body more in this position so that your upper body stays still, your lower body can still drive, and you can throw and catch that log. The second that your lower body does this, you're done. That log's gonna fall forward, it's too hard. Now there's a lot of other things I wanna cover about the actual press, but guys, I have an entire video explaining in detail how to get through all that. For Brad personally, I need you to start sticking your head through that window, okay? When you're pressing, you're still looking up like this, and a lot of judges will not even give you a down command until your head is through this little window and they can see your ear, okay? So it's just like opening up a window and sticking your head out. That's exactly what you want to do with the log. And then finally, brother, you are still doing a push press, which is awesome. There are some of the strongest log pressers in the world. Just do a push press. However, you're a pretty athletic guy. You're probably gonna get a lot more out of this movement if you do a jerk, which is just the two different dips. You dip and drive up and then you drop down to catch it. Just like in the clean, how your hips throw the log and your arms finish it. Same thing here. Your legs throw the log, your arms catch it. That's it. You do those couple things on your log clean and press, but mainly the log clean. That's the biggest thing that I want you to work on because I think you're in a little bit of risk for injury. But number two, you are one of the strongest individuals I've ever met. If you can get that log clean down, you're gonna have so much energy for that press that it's gonna be ridiculous. Like I told the people at the beginning of the video, once you get involved in strongman and you learn what you're doing, you're gonna be an absolute monster. So I just thank you so much for the opportunity to kind of tear through some of this stuff. Like I said at the beginning, man, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to help you out. Hopefully some other people will take some of these tips and tricks and be able to apply it to their own training. But man, it was so cool doing this. I really, really hope this helps you out.
Just want to thank Brian again. Thank you so much, man, for letting me kind of do this and demonstrate some of my shortcomings and failures as an athlete. Hopefully there's some entertaining stuff in there, and I look forward to hearing the feedback that you have on my performance of these movements, and look forward to being able to improve myself over time. I hope this video helps you guys, and I'll be monitoring the comment section, so leave a comment below, and I'd love to respond. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video. Thanks again, Brian. I can't wait to get back up to Never Say It and hang out with all you guys. I appreciate you very much. See ya.
So yeah, guys, there you go. Brad, I hope this helps you out so much, man. To everyone else, I hope you guys can learn from the things that I taught Brad. Brad, thank you so much for being vulnerable and humble and just letting me tear apart those things, man. I was not trying to be mean. I was just trying to help you out. I know you're a tough guy. You can absolutely handle it. But guys, do make sure that you go over to Brad's YouTube channel, you check out some of his videos, and you subscribe. He's not only an amazing powerlifter who's come back from absolutely some crazy, crazy hard injuries come back from, but he's also an amazing soldier, works with some of the most elite dudes out there. He's an all-around cool guy. Definitely go check him out. Not to mention the fact that you're gonna wanna know that guy's name when he actually jumps into strongman, because it's going to be awesome. If you guys are interested, don't forget to pick up a t-shirt tomorrow, as well as at least check out that video. I put a lot of time and effort into it. I hope you guys like it. I will catch you guys later in the week. Until I do, go out and do something amazing with your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I'll see you then.